Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. Me, your host, Owen. Guys, yesterday, obviously, not the result that we wanted. Rangers slip into that 3-2 defeat at our city rivals at Parkhead. I don't know, it's still strange looking back on it now. Not the best, obviously not a great result. Performance was okay. Obviously, circumstances around that result that are not right and not good at all. Obviously, the defensive howlers were part of the reason to blame. The fact we handed that victory to Celtic seemingly, and the fact that obviously there was one or two refereeing controversies, and obviously there's been a number of memes on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram as surrounds obviously referee Kevin Clancy. A couple of comments made about him. I'm obviously not going to talk about those here. I just wanted to sort of obviously feature that out. Obviously, that is a concern that a number of Rangers fans have. Obviously, that big fallout is over the Alfredo Morelos disallowed goal. I mean, you look at it, both of them have got their hands on each other. Both of them are fouling each other. It's 50-50. It's half of one. It's 50. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's 50-50. And as referee, you are taught, that in that situation, you give the benefit of doubt to the attackers, because the thing there is for footballers is to encourage attacking football, to encourage goals to be scored. And you can see there that, it's 50-50. Obviously that Johnston, he goes to the ground very easily, misses his header, falls over, gets the decision his way. Did the referee feel the pressure of the Parkhead crowd? Maybe. Did the VAR officials feel the pressure of the Parkhead crowd? Maybe as well. I think that obviously is something that has got to be taken into account. It would have been interesting, had that game taken place at Ibrox yesterday. What would that goal have been allowed to stand? I mean, that's obviously an interesting discussion, I think, and obviously, the fact that had the referees obviously been a situation where they would have been surrounded by Rangers fans completely, no Celtic fans, would the decision have gone the other way, and would they felt more confident to overturn the decision to disallow the goal? I think it's something definitely worth discussing. My own feeling on that is it's a very strong possibility, and I think that maybe they were slightly overawed by the fact that they were at Parkhead. Now, it was tweeted out by Sky Sports tonight. Sky Sports News understands that Rangers will write to the SFA for an explanation over why Alfredo Morelos' first half goal at Celtic Park was disallowed. So very much putting the ball back in the SFA's court, asking them for a reason, asking them to, explain the decision. And I think hopefully it will get the SFA to look at the refereeing, look at the game, look at, what happened. And obviously it's too late now, even if they apologize, even if they, say that was a goal and it shouldn't have been disallowed, then obviously it's too late, isn't it? The game's done, it's dusted. The league is officially, well, not officially, but pretty much officially over now. And Rangers obviously are going to finish runners up to that mob from across the city, which after the performance yesterday just doesn't seem right to me. Celtic are not a good team. I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to keep saying that. Any Celtic fans that want to watch this can comment if they want, but then they're not a good team. We saw in Europe they're not a good team. Yeah, we saw yesterday they're not a good team. We gave them that victory yesterday, and that's what makes it even more hard to take and even more galling, doesn't it? And you've got them. I was watching a couple of TikTok lives earlier, of Rangers fans talking. You've got all the Celtic fans coming in, giving it cry you a river, blah blah. It just makes you sick. It really does make you absolutely want to throw up when you hear them going on like that. I'll say what I want. I'll say, look, I'm a Rangers fan through and through. I think they're classless. I think they're absolutely classless. I think they'd be relegated if they were in the EPL. I think Postecoglou isn't. I can't stand the man. But that's just it, isn't it? And it's going to seem like sour grapes after yesterday. Of course it is, but that's just the situation as it presents itself, isn't it? Obviously that's fallout from that yesterday. Then there's still going to be continued. I think there's going to be fallout all week from that game yesterday. That decision. There's a bit of another thing going around on Twitter today, last night, saying that Rangers were denied a Stonewall penalty for a foul on Alfie in the box that wasn't picked up by VAR. So yet another example of VAR in Scotland failing, and I think it's basically because in Scotland the SFA have gone for the cheapest, nastiest form of VAR they could find, and had they gone for the EPL version, and look, I know the EPL has a bucket load more money than we do. It's the biggest league in the world, and they have shed loads of money. But you've got to, if you're going to use it, you've got to use the best possible thing. And you look at rugby, rugby isn't exactly swimming in money yet. It uses a much higher form of video refereing technology than they seem to use in the Scottish Premier League, which you've got to ask that question. Why? Is it because the SFA are tight? I don't know. I think there's something that's definitely got to be looked at going into the new season next season. And I think obviously that's something that the SFA have got to address. The SFA have got to realise, for me, that in Celtic Rangers, they have got a product. They have got a product that is instantly marketable across the world. They've got a product that is highly interesting, I think, to a number of markets across the world. And if they want to make money, they've got to speculate to accumulate. The Old Firm games are huge. It's one of the biggest derbies in Europe. It's up there, with the Klassiker in Germany when Dortmund and Munich face off. It's up there with the derby of Italy when Milan play Juventus, or the Milan derby when AC play Inter. It's up there with the Manchester derby, the Liverpool Man United games. It's up there with El Clasico when Madrid play Barcelona. It is a massive game, and they've got a marketable thing, and they've got to put the Scottish Premier League in an area that it can really market that. And I think at the moment they're failing to do that, and that is sad, infinitely sad. And they've really got to work on that for me. Looking at VAR, looking at refereeing standards is something they've got to do going forward. Refereeing standards in Scotland are awful, absolutely shocking. I watch English football as well. I follow Sunderland in England, and I watch a lot of Championship football, and the refereeing is not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than it is in the SPL. I watch English Premier League football, and again, it's not the best. It's not brilliant. Don't get me wrong. There is mistakes made, but it's a hell of a lot better than it is in Scotland. I think there's obviously a learning curve there for Scottish football. There really is. There really is a learning curve to find out a little bit more about what we can do to make refereeing standards better in this country. And I think after Kevin Clanger, refereed that game yesterday, I think it is a possibility that we've really got to look at how we can improve refereeing standards going forward. A couple of other fallouts from yesterday. I think it is evident that Rangers need to strengthen not only up front, which we know, but also I think, central defence is another key area. I think obviously Goldson was out yesterday. Suter came in. Davis had that ricket that cost us one goal. Suter had a ricket. I think, there is a need, I think, to bring in a central defender, a dominating, no nonsense, Goff-esque, Hendry-esque, Butcher-esque centre half. And I know that we don't have the money we used to have to go out and get players like that, but there is a scouting network. There is a whole host of clubs across Europe where you can go and get those types of players. So I think that's something Rangers have really got to do this summer and address this summer for definite for me. Centre forward obviously is a big position of need. I think obviously Alfie will be off at the end of the season. Cholak for me just does not do it. He is not good enough to lead this line long term. You've got to get somebody who is really that fox in the box. The other thing, obviously, yesterday, Ryan Kent. I think Ryan Kent's done. I really do. Look, I have stuck up for Ryan Kent massively over this season. I've been an advocate of him. Go back and watch the videos. Go back and read some of my tweets. I do stick up for Ryan Kent. But after yesterday, that's it. I'm done with him. I'm not sticking up for him anymore. And it's not just yesterday. There's a number of performances this season where he's gone missing. The Old Firm games, he's gone missing all the time. It's not just Old Firm games. Actually, a number of games he has disappeared and not really applied himself. And I think it's time we said goodbye to Ryan. I think for both parties' best interest, I think it's time that they moved on from each other. Now, the final thing I want to talk about this morning, a little bit of blasphemy maybe, and I tweeted this out yesterday. I've had a bit of stick from it on Twitter. I honestly think in the league we need to play McCrory in goal. I think Alan McGregor looked I think he looked old yesterday. He really did. Look, I know Suter was to blame for that dodgy pass back, but, a younger goalkeeper might have actually got to that ball that McGregor didn't get to. There's times this year where he's letting goals that, he in the past he wouldn't have done. I think he's starting to look his age. In the league, I think we need to play McCrory. It's not just because of that. I think it's also so we can see what we've got. The league's done. What have we got to lose? At the end of the day, for me, look at McCrory. Is he, the future? Does he have a part to play? Could he be Rangers number one? Could he save us a shed load of money? given the needs in other areas. That's something we've definitely got to look at going forward. Anyway, guys, please hit that sub, ring that notification bell. Remember to set it to all so you don't miss out on all the daily news, content, and views from the channel. This channel brings you daily Rangers news, daily Rangers updates, obviously podcast with myself and Victoria. Guys, we are here for you. We are a fan-driven channel. Both of us are Rangers fans. Me since 1987. Victoria was born in Glasgow, raised a Glasgow Rangers fan, lived in Ayr, now lives in Canada, but is still Rangers through and through. So please hit that sub, ring that notification bell, guys. We are here to deliver your team every single day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, it's been a pleasure speaking to you here on Glasgow Rangers Nation.